Hey everyone, it's Jessica. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you are doing well. It's like super gloomy in New York, and I hope it clears up soon. But for now, we're just staying inside and being more introspective, I guess. So today's talk is about how what's meant for you will never miss you. And I feel like often in life we are so caught up in getting things, like getting what we want. Like we're so caught up in like, I want this by this time. Like I want this job in 2 months' time. And it has to be this one that I found. And I will like die if I don't get it. Right. Like so many things that we want that we're so, I think, like desperate to have. And we often forget, I think, that how would we know what's best for us? Or like, how would we know what would serve us in the long run? Or like, what would lead us to the best outcome? And it reminds me of this story that maybe you've heard of, but it's like basically there's a father and a son that live in a village, and one day they own like a farm. So there's like horses, and one day one of the horses runs away. And the other villagers are like, "Oh, like that's such like bad luck, like really sorry that your horse ran away, like that really sucks." And the father is just like, maybe we'll see. And then like a few days later, the horse comes back, and it also has brought along like three other wild horses. And the villagers are like, "Oh my god, that's such good news. Like that's such good fortune. Like congratulations." And the father's like, "Maybe, like we'll see." And then the son decides to take one of the wild horses on a ride, and then he ends up falling off the horse and breaking his leg. And then the villagers are like, "Oh my god, that sucks." Like, so sorry about your leg. And the father's like, "Maybe, like we'll see." And then a few days later, there's someone from the city that comes into their village recruiting men for like an upcoming war, and the son is unable to enlist because of his broken leg. And the villagers are like, "Wow, that's such good luck, like congratulations." And the father's like, "Maybe we'll see." So anyway, you could see how like the story could go on, but it's meant to just illustrate that like whatever good things or bad things, which in and of itself is very subjective, whatever things that happen to us, events that happen to us, we may view as like good or bad in the moment. But then if we take a step back and like, time moves on, we can see like, was it actually good or was it actually bad? Or was it just like an event that happened? And who's to say like if it was good or bad? So I share this story because I think when we are so caught up in having events turn out in a specific way that we want, we can forget that we don't actually know like what's great for us. Like I see all of these memes that are like, someone crying and it's like me at the job that I prayed to God for. And I feel like that's so relatable cuz like when you don't have a job, you're like, "Oh my god, like let me get this job, let me get this job." And then you get the job and then you're like crying at the job cuz you don't like it. And it's like this is the job that you prayed to God for literally. And so it's just so funny how I think as people we get really caught up in things turning out exactly how we want them to. And yeah, we just forget that like we don't actually know what's good for us, what's meant for us. And that's why I say, like, what's for you will never miss you, because when we're so fixated on like things turning out a certain way, like the way that we want, we might miss out on other things that are like maybe more meant for us. And I think like I used to be so caught up in, and I mean still I am to an extent, on like things working out like a certain way by a certain time, right? And then if that thing doesn't happen, then I'm like so devastated, like, oh my God, like, why didn't that work out? Like, what happened? There must be something wrong with me. And now I've just learned that actually things work out sometimes in a way better manner than you could have even predicted at the time. Like, instead of thinking like, what if it doesn't work out, it's like, what if it works out in this way that's even better than I could have imagined? And I feel like that leaves space in the universe and in your future for magic to happen and for the unexpectedly wonderful things to happen. Because when we don't limit ourselves, and we don't place limits on what's possible, I feel like we can witness some really amazing things happen. And even if it's in the short term not, great, we never know in the long run how that will serve us, right? And I think like sometimes it's the time and it's the perspective that gives us that appreciation for our lives. And it could take like months, it could take years for us to understand like why things unfolded in the way that they did. But I feel like I have talked to so many friends who are like, I'm so glad that this thing didn't work out, because now I'm in this place where I'm so appreciative of like when it did work out or when this different thing worked out. And I think we all can look back at times in our lives when things didn't pan out in the way that we wanted to, and look at our lives now and be like, oh, like that makes sense, because in the words of Steve Jobs, like the dots can only be connected looking backwards. It's only once we've lived our lives and then we've seen things unfold that we can be like, oh, like that's why this didn't work out at this time, because instead I was meant to do this at this other time. So it's the message that what's meant for you will not miss you. If you are in a place in life where you feel like agitated or just like frustrated by how things are panning out, just know that everything's happening like in its own time, and what is for you will never miss you. So I hope that this chat resonated with you in some way today. If there's anything else you want to hear about, please let me know in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe so that you can see whenever the new videos come out. Wishing you a very, very good day wherever you are, and we'll chat soon in the next video. Bye.